What's up, Soul Circle? Welcome to Tuesdays. What are we doing? It's winter, so we're going tan and we're going sparkly because I'm bored. Let me pin this. There we go. Give me some hearts, babes. Rachel, girl. I know. I know. I love you. Catherine, you're finally on time. Yes, babe. Guys, I just found this song. I don't know who it is. No idea. What's up, YouTube? Are we liking the sparkles? The Barbie filter. The Barbie fucking filter. That's what's happening tonight. Because Sarah's bored. And I feel like it's almost eclipse season, so we need a little tan, we need a little sparkle. Okay? And everybody in the world is fucking depressed. So we need some fucking sparkle. That's what needs to happen. And coincidentally, this song is called Black Rain. Oh God. But it's awesome. I love it. All right, hold the phone. What's up, YouTube? Give me some love. Guys, give me some love. Let me know that you can hear me. And it's a little loud. I know. So, what are we talking about? How's everybody doing? Give me the love. Sparkle the whole place. Yes. Okay. I know. Sometimes I think the filters are a little obnoxious, but I was like totally feeling it today. So I didn't go sparkle unicorn. Okay. I refrained from some sparkle unicorn. So we went sparkle Barbie. Totally different. Give me some love. Give me, how's everybody doing? Put in the comments. How are y'all feeling? Who's prepping for the fucking eclipse? I'm going to go take a trip out to Sedona, of course, on the eclipse. Like, where else would I be? No, that's just coincidental, but it's perfect. James, you're hilarious. Sparkle Phoenix. I'm going to get a t-shirt that's called Sparkle Phoenix. And it's /Bitch Barbie. That's just what's going to happen. All right. Yes, we're totally going to do cards. Okay. Rachel, you want to go to Sedona? Come with, girl. Jump in my car. Serious. If you want to, let me know. So, where's the cards, love? I'm loving this song. Straight up. This is totally brand new. I just found it. I don't know. You want to go to Sedona? Who else wants to go to Sedona? Who else has been to Sedona? Home Slice on here, Black Rain. I don't know if he's been to Sedona. All right, let's pause that super quick. That was Rye, R-H-Y-E. New. All right, we're doing cards, y'all. And I keep saying y'all. You want to go to Sedona? You've never been, and you what? And you're only one state away. Come on. Sedona's your second love. Who knows? Who here has been following me that knows that I lived in Sedona for 3 years? Is this filter okay? It's like Instagram is being so weird. Give me some hearts. Let me know that you guys can see me and that it's not glitching. Because who knows what? Who knows? You do. James, of course you do. Lucky babe. I love Sedona. Okay. It's a really beautiful, if you want to know, okay, good. I love the hearts. Love them. They make my inner child very happy. Here's how I describe Sedona for those of you who have never been. Check how you enter the vortex. For real. Okay. How you enter, it is a vortex. Okay. Think of it like a washing machine. So it's going to spin and it's going to amplify the spin of whatever you come into it with. So I have seen relationships that like go in and they are already irritated with each other, let's say, and then that just amplifies it. And then they usually break up. I've seen it happen. Many arguments, top rock vortex that have happened. Okay. Even on the masculine, feminine balance one. Okay. Like, why can't I think of it right now? Cathedral. It's a gorgeous, okay? It's like a painting. but it's not a joke. Okay. And if you think that the vortexes aren't real, blah, 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 that's bullshit. They are. A friend of mine who studies like all of the resonance, he totally did not believe in them. He was a skeptic. And then he brought out all of his equipment and he checked the ground and he actually found out that the vortexes spin in two different directions. So there's upward spin and downward spin. And if you want to see like the actual, like how nature responds to, right? Because it's an energetic. So how you like can see with your tangible eyes, the vortexes, the juniper trees that are around the vortex, you'll see them spinning. You'll see the actual like whole tree and all the branches have a spin to them. No joke. So that's how you can tell how tight or how intense the vortex is when you're there or when you're around it. Okay, because there's juniper trees everywhere and not all of them have like a spin. Okay, you need to go to Sedona, visit, list. Yes, it's absolutely amazing. Okay, if you all go, please make time that's like at least 5 days. I took a couple of my girls there and we could only go for like a weekend. You're going to get the total benefit, obviously, but like spend like some time there. I'm only going for a day because I'm actually going to Phoenix for a little bit. I have some business to take care of. And so whenever I'm in Phoenix, I always make time to like roll up to Sedona because it's my old stomping ground. And if my old neighbor who does these amazing ceremonial sweat lodges, if he is available on the eclipse on Sunday, that's where I'm going to be. So of course I will take pictures. I will share my stories, all that fun stuff. So cool on your travel list. I feel like when we can all like connect again physically, I've always wanted to do a retreat in Sedona. I want to do like a full on like retreat, like getaway retreat immersion in Sedona, like 3-4 day. Maybe I would push it to 5 days. But that's just me because I would just love to just have everybody be there for 5 days and go on an adventure and run around. And I take you to the like private little watering holes where you can like skinny dip and go naked. Like who doesn't love that? We'll all get to know each other real well. Badass babe retreat in Sedona. Yes. Yes. So down. You guys are awesome. Okay. All right, let's see here. Who's just jumping on? So what's a vortex does? What do you mean? What do you mean, babe? What does the vortex do? Hi, Colleen. Hi, everybody on YouTube. Yes, I heard that. It amplifies the fuck out. Okay. You want to know my like nerdy super woo, like woo of all the woos that I really like. I don't know. I still talk about it, but I got real woo. I got real woo in Sedona. You can't not. It's like, I don't need to go to Burning Man because I wooed the fuck out in Sedona for 3 years. It's a whole thing. So what does the vortex do? Hang on. Let me scroll down. Yeah, don't we all need to travel out of the country? Okay. Here's how I explain. Are we good talking about the vortexes of Sedona while I'm still shuffling? Because I'll make it happen for sure. But if you guys have questions, put them in. Until then, I'm just going to talk about Sedona. And I bit my tongue earlier. So we'll see how well Sarah can talk about this. All right. Here's the deal. Maritza, you haven't seen me in forever. Does that mean you haven't joined Soul Circle in forever? Okay. So here's the deal with what the vortexes really do. Okay. Here's what I do with the vortexes. How about that? Your only reference point is my Woo Sedona days. That's hilarious, babe. That's absolutely hilarious. You're an OG'er for sure. All right. So I have a, here's what everybody can do, right? You can sit in the middle of a vortex. Keep in mind that the energy is spinning like a washing machine. Okay. So everything gets amplified. So again, keep like really aware and conscious of the energy that you bring to it. So what I have done, and I still have this, and I will tell no one where this is because it's my own little private little thing. Okay, so you get to create your own wherever you want to, but this is my serious woo. I have a favorite spot that's close to one of my favorite vortexes in Sedona, and I opened up a portal. We're going woo tonight, guys. It's the Sparkle Barbie. It's the fucking Sparkle Barbie. We're going serious woo. Metaphysical merry-go-round, straight up. I call another nickname that I have for Sedona is like the fun house of mirrors. Okay. Cause when you go there and you get reflected your shit, and then you try to turn away from your shit and it's like right there because there's another mirror. And then you try to turn this way diagonally and there's another mirror. And then you try to turn behind and there's another mirror. It's a fucking fun house of mirrors that you cannot avoid your shadow and your shit. It's awesome. So go there prepared to have everything amplified for you to dive in and work through and experience. And if you're down for that, it can be a really beautiful experience because there's so many people there that are supportive to that. You can go get a shock alignment. You can go get an amazing Native American sweat lodge that has like sound bowl clearing. Like you can do it the F up. You can go pray or meditate at a stupa on the top of a mountain. Like is legit. There's some cray woo out there. Okay, let's just say that there's a little bit of cray woo. So steer clear of the cray woo. I met a few of them. I used to hang out with a few of them. There's some cray woo. So keep it grounded, whatever you do, because if you go flying off, then you're never going to get the lesson to integrate the lesson in order to then bring it back to real time and then implement the behavior that would be supportive. Okay. So here's what I like to do. I like to go to my favorite spot that I have personally opened up my own little personal vortex. Okay. It's like bringing a suitcase and like open it up and connecting with a very specific spot on the earth. So I have laid things into the earth to anchor. They're buried in there to help support and anchor that vortex, that portal, if you will. So every time I go back, I reconnect with that vortex, and that vortex, that portal, right, is connected to the different places that because I usually stay in Phoenix places and then I stay in Los Angeles places. So it's connected to where I live and where I visit most often, where my energy is. Now, granted, we're going so woo. I did not expect, I was like, what's going to happen tonight? We're going woo. It's because it's an eclipse and because I'm going to Sedona. That's it. So every time I go and I reconnect, so that I set really clear intentions on how I want to feel in the next, it could be year, it could be cycle, it could be whatever. The last time I did it right before my birthday 2 years ago, I think it was what it was. And I get really clear messages in those moments. And so then I'm also creating a very intentional vision and emotion and sort of just alignment of what I want to fulfill, right? Not a whole lot of attachment on how, just a lot of connection with like the vision, the feeling, the desires, like all that fun stuff. And I set that intention when I'm opening up that portal at my favorite little spot, vortex in Sedona. And then what happens, because everything in Sedona happens like 3 times faster than outside of Sedona. I'm not kidding. It's a weird thing. It's like, it's like another planet. It really is. So all of that energy gets spiraled around the vortex, washing machine, And you amplify it and you can spin it even stronger. If any of you have done like traditional Qigong, so if any of you are like familiar with kind of spiraling energy around your own vortex, your own field, your body is a vortex, your body is a conduit and a conductor. So if any of you have like ever done anything like that, you kind of amplify those energies and those emotions and those intentions. So I'm spinning the whole energy. So by the time I leave Sedona and come into the rest of the world, everything starts happening really, really fast after that. So if you go, when you go, be careful, be aware of what you come into it with, because it will be amplified, and be also even more aware of what intentions you set while there, because those will surely get amplified when you leave. And this has happened to me not once, not twice. Okay, I've been plenty of times. This has happened very, very clearly over a dozen times. That's a slight exaggeration. I'd say probably 10. So it's not a joke. It's not weird. It's fun. I love that. Whenever, when I went with two of my girlfriends, they kept saying like, oh my God, the synchronicity and everything here. And it's so weird. I'm like, it's not weird. It's normal here. The more that we can get normalizing consciousness, higher consciousness, spiritual connection, like alignment, all of that, it's not weird. It's something that is normal for us that we've just forgotten. So to the aspect that we've forgotten, it might come across as weird. So check yourself. I even have to do that. Every time I say something's weird, it's like, that's the other side of the brain that forgot that it's actually normal. So these are all things that you're all capable of doing. And who would be super down to do a Sedona retreat? And I can teach you how to do all this shit. It's super awesome. Totally bit my tongue. Okay. Visiting at a gamble was always trippy. I don't know what that means, but cool. What's up, everybody that just joined on? Ryan, Adam, Free Spirit, me. What's up, loves? This is juicy and it's science too. It totally is. It's absolutely backed by science. That's why I'm saying, like, even the vortexes are 100% backed by science. Like I said, a friend of mine who I met there studies Schumann resonance. That's what, when everybody was like, oh my God, the Schumann resonance flatlined. He was the first one that I called and he's like, no, it didn't. It's a gust of wind. It's an energetic wind. He was a skeptic and he took all of his equipment that he studies Schumann resonance and earth frequencies and a bunch of other stuff that is his deal, not mine. Way smarter than me in that department. And he measured it and he was completely, like, all of his skepticism went out the window. Your inner priestess is showing up. Love you, babe. That's awesome. Thank you, love. Thank you, love. Loves it. Yes. Sedona is a very magical place. Sedona is like Sparkle Barbie. It's just, and it's really beautiful because you look out and literally you're like, this is like a painting. How I lived there for 3 years, I don't know. Like I said, because time happens magically. Like, have you ever been with somebody and you kind of feel like you both get into this vortex where all of a sudden it's been like hours and it didn't feel like it. It felt like 5 minutes. That's how Sedona is. It's like being with like somebody so rad that you create your own vortex together, but going to Sedona is like that. So it holds all of like the beautiful aspects that we love about connection to not just ourselves, not just other people, but more importantly, like ourselves and higher consciousness. So Maris, going to Sedona. I was telling them about when you and I and Chris all went to Sedona. And can we please go again? Because I'm leaving on Friday. Merlin balls. Okay, so another thing that y'all need to know is there is a statue of Merlin in the main center, not in Uptown. It's further down 89A. I won't give you directions right now, but you can Google it. It's by the Whole Foods. Okay, they turned it into a Whole Foods. There's a statue of Merlin, and there's, should you choose to go and be visually adventurous, the sculptor decided to make sure that Merlin had all assets to make him feel like a man. So, should you feel so inclined to look under his kilt, you might discover some additional assets. Not additional, the basic ones. The basic ones. Oh yeah, girls look for those. Yeah. Girls definitely look for those assets. Stacey, you're in Arizona next month, so you'll go. Awesome. DM me, babe. I will be happy to tell you all of the places to go and eat, and what my favorite crystal store is, and all that fun stuff. And if you want to do the sweat lodge with my old neighbor, I'll put you in touch with him. His name is Rahilio. He's amazing. You're so going there. Sounds like fun. Okay. Everybody down for Sedona? Are we down for can we do a safe distancing retreat in Sedona? Can we do that? Can I make that happen? Hi, Lisa. Let's see if we can make that happen. Bodies of water. Spend time near water, such as a lake, river, ocean, or recharge your batteries. That's part of why I'm going to Sedona. It is a recharge center. So to fully answer your question about what the vortexes do, you can use them to spin and amplify your intentions, amplify your visions, amplify your goals. You can create your own portals. We're going serious. Anybody who's just joined, we're going seriously woo tonight because Sarah's talking about Sedona, because I'm driving out to Phoenix and I'm making a trip to Sedona on the eclipse, because that's just coincidentally how it planned out. But of course it would plan out that way because there's no coincidences. So that's how I roll. That's how my higher self rolls. It's like, by the way, in case your conscious mind didn't plan it, we scheduled you to be in Sedona for the eclipse. Okay. Can you just get there now physically? Copy that. Yes, retreat. Dude, I'll COVID 6 feet distance a retreat. Gosh, that feels like fun. Who would do that? Who would be down for that? We'll see. Lisa, yes, queen. Hi, baby. No coincidences, never. Girl, have you been to Sedona? Did we talk about that? By the way, Lisa Eddy, for all of you ladies, she's going to do one for me, so maybe we'll do one live, okay? This is a badass queen who does all non-toxic support for feminine, for the face, good elixirs, good, like, all this, like, face stuff. I don't even know because I haven't done it yet, okay? But I'm helping her build her whole mastery signature system, so I know it's amazing because I've read about it, and she's going to do it on me. Do you guys want to see us do that live? Help a girl. Yes, you've been to Sedona. Okay, when is the eclipse? It's on the 29th. The first one is on the 29th, and then we're 14th of December. So I'll be there this weekend on the 29th. Yep. All right. Do we have questions, or y'all just want me to roll out the cards for the, should we do cards specifically for the eclipse? Is that what's happening? Is that what's up, Alexa Rabbit? I don't know why I want this one. Purification. It's time for cleansing, detoxing of the mind and body. Well, there's lots of water coming up around cleansing, rejuvenating. Sedona is the best creeks that, like, so you all know, right, how energy works to amplify the molecules of the water, right? And if anybody has ever studied like Emoto's work, right? give some hearts if you know who that is. If not, I highly recommend looking him up. He studied how the molecules change when you put different energy into it. So if you speak well to water, the molecules look really beautiful like snowflakes. And if you speak negatively or like bad, angry type of music and things like that, vibrations that are not happy and loving and high vibrational, like it looks murky and dark and just right. And since we're about 75% water, that changes the molecular structure of our internal water, which changes our cellular structure. So the energy of the vortexes around Sedona, when you go and swim in the creek, you're not just getting cleansed by any typical water. This shit's like better than holy water, which makes sense as to why holy water does what they say, whatever they say it does, because it's been blessed and has good intentions into it. That's kind of the principle around it, at least that I take anyway. So Sedona's creeks and the water that's there is getting amplified by all of its energy. So especially the cathedral one, which is this perfect balance of masculine and feminine energy. When you swim in the creek that's down at the bottom, it's like your masculine side gets cleansed, your feminine side gets cleansed and amplified. It's really beautiful because it's holding, like the creek water is holding the vibration of the vortex energy of cathedral. And that's science. I'm not making that up. This is not uber woo, fake woo. Some woo is a little far-fetched, okay? Let's just be real, okay? Some are like, oh my God, like, it's not it. This is backed by there is. Oh, girl. The girls got, I can't go into that story. I can't go into that story. I had them hike up the mountain of Cathedral and they thought it was going to be like a walking path, not a rock climb. They thought it was going to be like Runyon Canyon in Los Angeles. If any of you know that, that's just like, some people think that's hard, but it's just you're walking uphill. This is like rock climbing. Maris wore a tube top. I was like, you're going to wear that? She's like, we're just going on a hike. I'm like, this is not Runyon Canyon. And it was so thin, some parts that you're climbing up, that when we went down, we were joking that the mountain was kegeling. They were getting kegeled down the mountain. Science meets spirituality, 100%. That's what I feel is consciousness, right? Or making things more conscious and living a more conscious lifestyle. It's sort of the grounded spiritual, right? Meaning because you can get too far off into the woo-woo that you lose sight of. It's kind of like a balloon that then isn't anchored, right? You can get so far woo-woo. And I went there. I totally did. I lived in Sedona for 3 years. I was like a balloon that just floated off and went into all kinds of fascinating things. And then at some point, sometimes you got to ground it out a little bit. You need to like anchor down. So the spiritual side and then the science side is more of like the grounding. And to me, that's what living more of a conscious lifestyle is. It's that like balance between the two, right? Which fucking Libra over here. That's all day long. Yes, Kegel. So if anybody has ever been up Cathedral, you've kegeled down the mountain, or the mountain has kegeled you. It's very intimate. All right. Can I tell a story of how my intention in Sedona showed up afterwards? Oh God. Okay. The specifics of that. Interesting. Okay. Hang on. There's so many. And I don't know, honestly, if I can like specify things, because you don't go in there with like, you don't know how it's going to plan out afterwards, right? You just set the intention, you set the feeling, and then you just allow things to unravel as they will. And then all of a sudden you look back maybe like a year later and you're like, oh my God, all of that I asked for like totally just happened. So I can give you an example. What was it? 2 years ago, I think. I opened up the vortex opened up my portal at my favorite vortex. And I wanted to set an intention for that year because it was my birthday. It was close. It was around my birthday time. So it was in October. And let's see, I posted what the 3 words were, but if I'm remembering correctly, it was like while I was sitting in and I set this really powerful intention and there was a lot of uncertainty. In what to build next, what to create next, right? All of those things. And so, was it clarity, courage, and conviction? I think were the 3 words that came through while I was in that meditation, in that vortex. I was like, share with me what I need to know, guide me, right? On like, just allow me to take those next steps on what that is. So I was like, and what am I going to need for that? And they're like, you're going to need clarity. You're going to need some courage, kind of like Wizard of Oz, right? It's like, what 3 things do you need for your journey? Clarity, courage, and then conviction. And so, and this is the most recent example. Okay. Because all of the other times I can't remember how many different things happened. I can just tell you that when you do it, expect massive shifts to happen in your life, because they do. It's like a springboard that you're like, oh, what should take a year just took 6 months, right? And so things happen very, very quickly. And I love that you're asking that question, because now when I do it, I'm going to write it down and then I'm going to track it, because I didn't ever track it before. So I said, what am I going to need? Clarity, courage, conviction. And guide me very clearly on, what are how am I to be of service, right? What is the best way? How am I going to bring out my gifts, my purpose, fulfilling my purpose, helping, making a larger impact? What is that? Just guide me with that, right? And so that next year, which was last year, everything that happened, talk about clarity. I got way more clear on what next steps to help expand how I show up and serve, how the things that I offer, right? It's also, I'm just being super transparent with you guys. I am in a massive transformation right now, even. So there's, again, another reason why I'm going back, because there's this other part of me. It's been the last few months, but it's getting more and more intense. So there's this other version of me that is I call it a future version, and I can feel her. And so it's stepping in, and what is that going to look like? And how is that going to show up? And so it's very similar, where you need clarity for that. So it's not always, when we think of vision, clarity isn't always how the step-by-steps are going to play out. It's more, how do you want to feel? And so I got really clear on that. But then last year I expanded my business. I tripled my income, something like that. So I released so many other limiting beliefs of myself. I got really clear on who I wasn't. So clarity isn't always for the future of who you're becoming. Sometimes it's who you're not, that then you can let go of in order to then step more fully and more strongly into that next version of you. And so my business skyrocketed. I helped way more people on a bigger level. I expanded into not just relationships and personal empowerment and self-mastery. I expanded that into then helping others, creating their business, to fulfilling their purpose, to then having a greater impact, teaching and sharing. Some of the ladies that are on here tonight are doing exactly that. But the vision on what that would look like, what that course would be, how I was going to build that. Because whenever I'm building something, until I'm clear on the actual transformation of something, I can't get started building it. And so that was the other piece of the clarity. Courage was to not get in my own way. Courage to release the things that don't serve, to actually step into that next level. Courage to remove the self-doubt. If anybody has ever felt oh, who are you to do whatever? And yet when you're following purpose, there's It's just alignment. There's no who are you. It's just you just are, and you're people are like, why are you doing certain things? And I'm like, it's just flowing through. I ask and then I'm guided, and I don't do until I get the clarity on what I'm guided to do. So for that, you still need courage, because it might look weird. It might, to other people, it might be like, who the fuck are you to do that? And how do you know how to, and whatever. And right, all kinds of judgment, self-judgment. You're always going to need courage to stepping into that version of you. And then finally, conviction. To me, that's walk your talk. Conviction is standing congruent and not wavering back into the old version, not wavering into the doubt or whatever, right? Really like staying true to what that vision is and the emotional alignment to that. So how that played out was, to be honest, amplifying my business, fulfilling my purpose on such a greater level, helping more people, becoming more abundant in all ways, not just financially. But last year was a wonderfully abundant year. I am grateful with all of the things that have been going on this last year, that then I was also able to help other people create something that then they could help other people. So it was like this double beautiful thing. It wasn't just a self thing. It was like fulfilling, because I know I'm fulfilling my purpose, but also helping somebody else fulfill their purpose. That's just gnarly. So does that answer your question? Yes, Lisa. Who the fuck are you not to do it? Exactly. If we are all spiritual badasses, and if you have a purpose that your heart is calling you to, and one of the biggest things that most people get tripped up on is, what is the judgment what is the judgment of other people going to be on you? I did a post today about self-worth, and it's like, if you're judging yourself for who you are to step in, then you're surely going to invite other people to judge you. And people are going to judge you no matter what. No matter what. You're going to show up to offer your gifts in the world. There is always going to be somebody to judge you. And if you can remember that it reflects more of them than it does of how you're showing up, then let that shit roll off. Because if you're in alignment with your highest version and your fucking purpose, then who is anybody else to judge your alignment of your purpose and you fulfilling that? And if you're then doing that, get out your own way, because who are you to judge yourself? Who is your lower mind to judge the higher version of you to then fulfilling your purpose? Just say, judgment is everywhere, and it will always be. But if you are following in your alignment, nobody can say shit about that. And when you got clarity on that, and when you got courage on that, and when you got conviction on that, then really there is nothing in your way. Yeah, mad hearts on that. Yep. You're welcome. Your leadership, babe, is needed in the world. Make it happen. Do not judge yourself. And we all do. It's a human thing, right? I still have days where I question myself and that like inner voice. And it's like, you got to put that in check. That's like the inner counsel, right? That is actually there, set up to make sure that your conviction holds true. Like, what if your inner critic, your inner judger, of which then if your inner judger is happening, that's why you attract other people outside of you that are judging you, right? So if that's happening, that's just because it's happening within. You guys all know it's the same thing with love and right, all of that stuff. So what if though your inner judger is really set up to then have you either listen to it and fall back, or challenge it and say, excuse me, no, boo. That's not what we're doing this time around. To make sure that you're in alignment with your conviction. Because if you weren't challenged, then maybe you would lose sight. If you weren't challenged, maybe you would forget why you're doing what your higher purpose is. Right? Yes, babe, you always have free will. You always have a choice point. And so maybe that inner judger happens so that you remember to choose you. You remember to fight for your own soul. You remember to choose life over death, actions that support life over death. You remember to choose self-love over destructive, toxic inner behavior. Maybe all of those inner critics are literally set up so that you remember to choose you, bae, before anyone else, before any relationships, before any clients, before any family members, before children, okay, that I say lovingly. I don't have any, so I'm going to say that lovingly, and yet if you aren't showing up for you, you can't show up for anybody else. If you're not choosing you, you can't choose anybody else powerfully, right? Yes, choose you. So your inner critic, as well as any outside judgment, outside criticism, is really showing up for you to remember to fucking choose you and challenge the inner critic and challenge the outside judgment. Because who are they anyways, other than just reflections to remind you to choose you? So don't get mad. Just be like, thank you. Fuck, I forgot to choose me today. Clearly, you're showing up as an alarm system because I forgot to choose me today. Somewhere along the lines, I must have forgot or lost sight of my why or my vision or my clarity or my courage or my conviction. Obviously, fuck. Thank you, judgers, for showing up to remind me that I didn't choose me today. Pause, reset. I choose alignment to higher self and go. Reset. Yes. Thank you, Sifu. Okay. How's my battery doing? Okay. Hey, a question. What's the question? You don't have to ask a question. You could just ask the question. Yes, check marks. Okay. And I'm still shuffling these for the eclipse. So what's the question? Okay. Okay, seriously? Wait, what? Interesting. You heard an interview. Don't get furious, get curious. Really loved that. Awesome. I love that too. That's badass. Always get curious. Absolutely. That's a quick way to not only shift your mindset, but shift your emotional state to how you're responding to anything, right? Because if you're curious, then there's opportunity. If you're furious or if you're angry at something, then you've knocked out all opportunity and you're only on a one-way track to resistance. Can we do a card on how to step into leadership through the eclipse season? Okay. Like that. I like that. Let's see. Yes. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take this one. Hold that one. These were the two that popped out. So we're going to put these here. And then that one is the one for how to step into leadership during the eclipse season. So hold, please. Pause. What to do when, yes, I choose me, but someone keeps insisting to push my buttons. Oh, well, that's easy. 7:45. Stop drinking coffee, Sarah. Like I said, it's been a long day. Okay. I'm going to answer this very simply. How you respond is 100% in your power all the time. So somebody else can be pushing buttons, but your response to them pushing buttons is entirely up to your level of emotional mastery. You don't have to respond. If they're getting the reaction out of you, then you've given your power away to them. Right? Because nobody can make you feel a way unless you agree to it. So choosing you is actually saying, in that moment of somebody pushing your buttons, that's saying, I choose how I want to feel in this moment because I choose, not because I'm reacting to what somebody else is doing. Does that make sense? That puts the power back in your hands as opposed to being responsive to something happening outside of you. But I would also, flipping that quantum, why is that thing happening outside of you? Where if that's if it's a trigger for you, then what is it about that that then you need to learn from? What is getting triggered that then, like if you didn't have something to heal around that, then it wouldn't be a trigger for you. It's like if somebody, if I'm wearing a white shirt, right? And somebody's like, I hate white. Why are you wearing a white shirt? Right? If that's a trigger for me, if somehow I have an insecurity around white, because somehow a long time ago, maybe I was like in preschool and little Billy pushed me down and said, oh my God, like you should never wear white. You look ugly in white. So there's some limiting belief or some program that if you have around something that happened a long time ago, then that would now be a trigger to somebody else coming to me and be like, oh my God, you're wearing white. Like, I hate white. And I'd be like, oh my God, now I'm ugly. Because that activates a trigger that happened a long time ago, not the button that is getting currently pushed of somebody saying, why are you wearing a white shirt? If you go in and you heal that past trauma or that past trigger, then you can wear white all day. And somebody's like, oh my God, I don't like white. And it's like, I'm sorry, like not my problem. I like white. I wear white all day. Does that make sense? So it has to do with some program. Doesn't have to be a deep trauma, but something is getting churned up by them pushing those buttons, where if you didn't have whatever that is, then you wouldn't get triggered from that. Does that make sense? Let me scroll down. Act, not react. There we go. Acting is conscious choice. Reacting is out of, you give your power away and it's out of a response to something else. Which means you're not being in that moment the conscious creator of your reality because you're responding to something else happening. And yet, if you really wanted to go quantum, like I said, if they're in your reality because you created them there to reflect something happening within, then you are the creator of your reality. That's why they showed up into your experience, but you haven't consciously created them there because it's based on past trauma. It's not healed, and thus then you're not consciously creating your reality. We all create our reality. Everything that happens into your existence is because you created it. There's just a difference between, are you conscious about it because you're doing things purposely and with intention, with the balance of, releasing old trauma and choosing as opposed to reacting? Or are you just sort of going through the motions and allowing things to happen to you, not for you? Who's Billy? I don't know. I don't even know. Okay, cool. So for this eclipse, before the leadership one, and I'll do these for sure. Don't back down. I love how it's like, bring it. So this is the energy specifically for, all this week up until Sunday with the eclipse. Okay. Stand up for what you believe is right. Own your truth. Own your worth. Know your self-worth. This is such a huge part of we talk about self-love, but if you, self-love falls short if you're not knowing your true worth, because you could be loving yourself based on traumatic experiences, based on what you believe love to be, which could be trauma. So then it's still not knowing your true worth. So Stand up for what you believe is like, what is that version? Like, who are you? Who are you? What do you stand for? What is that like? There's some giving power away. Exactly. Listen and learn. There's some giving power away. There's some like you're not standing in your true power. You're not standing in your truth. So is your voice kind of getting stopped because of limiting beliefs? Are you don't have clarity, courage, or conviction? Where are you in resistance to yourself? Not the current self. Where are you in resistance to the next version of you? I don't know what that means either. So stand up for what you believe is right. What do you believe? What do you really truly want? And what do you believe? What do you stand for in your life, in relationships? This will tag team a little bit with like leadership. Like, who are you? Who is the next version of you? And what do they stand for? And what do they stand against? Who is that? How are they different than who you are now? How has this time in this whole year, how has that shifted you for the better? How has that challenged the deepest essences of your shadow to love at the most passionate levels so that then you can truly stand up for what you absolutely believe in for yourself and for other people? Truth on all depths. Yes. So stand up for what you believe is right is like, it means that you haven't been. So what is that you truly believe is right that you haven't been standing for? And that's where we need to shift into. That's, yes, we all talk about healthy boundaries and so on and so forth, but like, those are all words and those are all concepts unless we are fully walking in that every single day and fully being that, not just defining it conceptually, but fully like walking in the truth of who that you say that you are and what you truly believe in. We have a really awesome opportunity. We always have an amazing opportunity to shift the cultural consciousness towards higher love, towards higher awareness. We always have that. This year, we all got challenged on how we haven't been doing that on a deeper level. We all got challenged on, okay, what is the deeper part of the shadow? Okay, what do I truly believe in? This was like not challenge for us to fall, not challenge for us to trip, but the challenge in the same way that your inner critic, how I was mentioning, will challenge you to be like, what do you believe? Are you still in alignment? What do you choose? Are you choosing you? Are you choosing higher consciousness? Like, challenges are good. If we didn't have challenges, we would never grow. So this whole year was really about growth, despite all the crazy shit. Because if those challenges, like, how many would actually sit and be like, okay, well, what do I really want now? What means the most to me? What people do I really want in my life? Like, what kind of love do I really want to be having? I feel like this year was such a blessing to really put into perspective what you really fucking want, because we saw a bunch of shit happen. And it was like, well, fuck, what's really important? What's really, really important? That is a blessing. It does not minimize anything, the deaths that happened. It does not minimize the drama. It does not minimize the fact that suicide rates are higher. It does not minimize any of that. That's not a blessing. But if we can look at that and be like, wow, okay, well, if that's happening on a collective, then what is really super fucking important to you now. And if you didn't have those challenges, would you have asked yourself that question? So stand up for what you believe is right, to choose you and choose what you believe is right, whatever that is. Yeah, hearts. Preach. Tuesdays are the new Sunday. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. Infinite supply. I love that it says Sedna, which kind of looks like Sedona. Can you see that? Sedna. Infinite supply. We talked about abundance and manifesting, right? Yes, there's a lot of financial challenges for a lot of people, but remember to pay attention that you are supplied when you're in alignment with just the feeling of abundance. Okay, don't check what is in or isn't in the bank account. Don't check all the things that you don't have. What does it feel like to be just in abundance, and looking at all the things that you do have that is abundant, that so many others are radically questioning, and everybody's questioning different levels of abundance. And it's not just on a financial level, right? So looking at what is abundant for you, because we think of abundance and it's like we forget to be grateful for, like, please put in comments, what are you grateful for? Write in, like, literally right now, like, do it straight up. What do you have in your life that is abundant? What do you have? Anything that you're grateful for, anything that you can recognize as, wow, I have abundance for that. Like, fuck, I am abundant in that. Abundance doesn't always mean cash money. It would say everyone here is now spiritually abundant. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Are you spiritually abundant? Fuck, that means you got spirit on tap. Like, do you have spirit on tap? You're infinitely, are you infinitely connected to infinite consciousness? Are you abundantly connected? Are you abundantly connected to infinite consciousness? That stream of consciousness that never ceases. And if you can tap into that, then you have literally spirit on tap. You literally have a highest version of you. You literally have consciousness. You literally have spirit. You literally have your guides, however you want to individually define it. I don't care what definitions you want to put on it, but if you are spiritually tapped in, you're spiritually fucking abundant. That's literally, you have access to anything, because that's infinite consciousness, of which case money and love and all of those things stem from. If you're spiritually abundant, fuck. Yes. Spirit on tap. Fuck yeah. Go to Sedona. You'll get spirit on tap real fast, or it will definitely show you where all the blocks are for you not letting that shit flow in. And you either get real clear, or really frustrated until that shit bursts and you have no choice but to fucking surrender, because it is a higher, more intense, powerful vibration than the finite version of you in this fucking body. I have sat on that vortex and bawled my eyes out. Bawled from my gut, not just bawled from my heart. Bawled, literally, it felt like I was gonna throw up. I have cried from my gut. Old stuff. Just to make room for more to come in. That was the day. No joke. And if any of you know what this is, you know what I'm talking about. That was the day that I heard and activated within me my personal light language. If you know what that is, you will know what I'm talking about. I will not go into any more definitions than that. But that was the day, and I had to purge it out in order to make room. And it felt like, so that you can let that shit flow in. 100%. so that you can hear it, so that you can feel it. Your health, your job, your health. Fucking awesome. That your health is abundant. That's amazing. Your health, your smile, your inner happiness. Fuck, inner happiness as abundant. You meaning like you have access to happiness like anytime you want? So anytime you're in a bad mood, since you have infinite abundance to just tap into happiness in any moment, that's fucking power right there. Awesome. Amazing business mentor. My amazing deep relationships and incredible clients. My gorgeous home. Yes, Lisa. Yes. Health, family, friends, job, dog. Love it. You're healthy. Siblings. Yes. Growth, friendship, health, the moment. Awesome. But what in the moment? I'm just going to challenge that just a little bit. Yes, the moment. But what in the moment? What specifically in the moment? Don't get off that easy. Okay, information to self-educate on all aspects of my life. Free laundry. That's fucking abundant right there. Amazing creators on IG sharing knowledge. Yes, tons of tools and medications to clear. Awesome. Meditation, excuse me, to clear. I heard you say you're like medications. No. And manifest. Yes, so much. Yes, awesome. All the fucks. I love these. Oh, that felt good after that. Yes. Yes. Oh, the crying. Absolutely. No, I was completely wiped. I slept for 4 hours, 100%. And that was at the stupa in Sedona, 100%. It was a very, very interesting experience. I came down from the stupa. We had literally been walking around the stupa counterclockwise for probably about 2 hours, doing chants and doing prayers and meditating and just like in it, just fully like in all of it. And I came down and I had this cute little like BMW Z3, like the little hatchback one. So I had a cute little car and I got in my car and this girl that was with me, I put my hands on the steering wheel. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke right now. I have never experienced this I've experienced some weird ass shit. And then this was weird. Okay. I've seen weird stuff. It's a whole thing. Put my hands on the wheel and I was going to like go to then turn the car so that we could go back home. And literally, not kidding, it felt like my hands were glued. I could not pull them off. And she was like, "Are we going?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I cannot move my hands." It was like almost freaking out. Like I couldn't, it wasn't that they were stuck. They just like, meaning sticky. There wasn't glue, but it was just, they were just there and I couldn't move them. And I'm like, I'm trying to move my hands. They won't move. And she's like, "That's odd. Just move your fucking hand." And I'm like, really, like, I'm not making this up. They were literally stuck for probably like 10 minutes. And she just said, I'm like, we're supposed to stay here. I don't know why we're supposed to stay here, but I can't move. I cannot move. And I wasn't overtaken by anything. There was nothing weird. There was nothing in the car. There was nothing, right? Because weird shit in Sedona happens all the time. I literally was just there for probably about like 10 minutes. And I was like, we're just supposed to be here. And then the whole day was very just surrender, right? So she's like, okay, we're just going to sit here. And we sat there for 5 minutes and I was literally like, I don't understand what's supposed to happen. And then I'm not kidding. It like, my gut just felt like, you know, when something really upsetting happens and you can feel it in your gut. And I just felt it like bubbling up and my whole body started convulsing, like literally this wave of energy just started coming up. And I'm still looking at her like, I don't know what's happening. And then like fucking fountains out my eyes. I just bawling so fucking hard. Oh my God. Like I will never forget this day. Crying hard. Not like little whimpery tears. I mean guttural. Fucking, my face was drenched. I had my head down and like my shirt and everything was literally drenched. It was the most bizarre experience I've ever had in my entire life. And I've never cried like that ever since. And she was just like holding space. And there was this random woman that came out and she was like, I've been here for an hour. I was told to stay here. Are you okay? And I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I couldn't talk. I couldn't anything. I was literally just bawling. And she was like, you need to come out and you need to come on the land. I haven't told this story ever. Wow. She was like, you need to come out and you need to come and put your hands on the land. Sedona is also a Native American burial ground, by the way. So there's much sacred land there and blessed. And also some very angry because it's an Indian burial ground. And so she brings me over and I'm still bawling. And she brings me over and she's like, baby, she's like, put your hands on the earth. And she was like, I can't tell you why. She's like, I don't know. I've been sitting here for an hour. I was told to look for a tiny black car. If you guys know what a Z3 coupe hardtail, it's the tiniest car in the world, right? And so she's like, I think that that's you. And literally she came over and she put her hands on me and she sang in this just gorgeous, fucking beautiful voice. And I can't even remember what this woman looks like, but she was like an angel that showed up and she didn't sing in English. And she sang in this beautiful language that was not of this world. Those of you who know. I call it light language. And she sang to me for hours. And I started drawing this very strange shape. And I drew it on paper a while ago, but I started drawing completely, like almost like unconsciously. I drew this whole thing and it was a story, but through these images. And she just sat there, put her hands on me, and she sang to me in this language of the angels. And in the most like, God, like I can still hear it, but just gorgeous tone. And she said, you own this language, you know this language. And I said, I can hear you, I can understand you, but I don't know what you're saying. And she's like, yes, because you know this language. And I said, I can't speak this language. And she's like, it will come to you. It didn't come to me literally until the next day. But I was like, oh, I can feel it. Like I could feel it in my throat. But I was like, it won't come out. And she's like, let it surrender. You'll have it when you need. But I was like, I know it. And she's like, yeah. And so she literally leaves, never to be seen again. And the only thing that she said to me is she said, white buffalo calf woman. And this whole, if you know the Native American, blah, blah. And I went back to the house that we were at. The girl drove. I got in the car completely just drained. Picked up, it was not this deck. It was one of what's her name's decks, but it was not this deck. And literally I flipped it over and it was white buffalo calf woman card. The only one. And it like, I shuffled it once and I picked the card and it was that card. And then the next day, I heard my own language of that. And then within a few hours, I just spoke it. And it's one of the things that is most sacred and most dear, and yet also for some most misunderstood, because it's all frequency based. It's all love. It's all higher consciousness. You don't translate it through the mind. It has to be translated through the connection to spirit through the heart. I don't know if it was the angel cards. I don't think it was. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't talked about that in a while. Anyways, don't know why we went there, but where were we? Purge. Allow yourself to purge out whatever so that then you can embody more space of the higher version of you to come in. And if you need to go to Sedona to activate that shit, please do it. Please do it. It will absolutely change your life. But remember that what you ask for in Sedona will absolutely come to fruition. So if you want your life to change, it will. So Sedona, I was told to find a tiny black car. Yes, exactly. And everybody knew who I was because it was the only like little BMW Z3. It was the only tiny black car. Like, and I had bright red hair. Like, who's the chick in the black car with the red hair? Yeah. Ooh, girl, you just got chills through your whole body. Many beautiful things can happen with that. So if you know what that is and you know what I'm talking about, then you know. Get back in your body before you drove. Oh yeah, no, the other girl drove. Okay. Thank you for telling the story. You're so welcome. Felt that. Okay, good. Okay. So, infinite supply, abundance. All right. So the final card. Wow. Okay. The final card specifically, girl, you still on here? Yes. Liberated mystic. You are. For leadership. This goes for everybody. What was it specifically? Leadership for the eclipse? Like what about for stepping into our level of leadership? You guys are going to love this. Okay. Who knows of the goddess Diana? Who knows the energy of the goddess Diana? I did this amazing project when I was in the entertainment industry as an actress. I got to play a mermaid. I did not get to play Diana. I really wanted Diana. I got to play June. She was the one who wanted to find a soul. So that was probably more appropriate. Okay. Goddess of war. Is she though? Because in that movie, goddess, she was the warrior, but she's not like, so war doesn't always mean a negative, especially not when a woman says it. Okay. We know this. Women do not wage war. They wage war, but not for death, at least not physical death. Right. So if you need to wage war on anything, it is not what you think, and definitely not for Diana. This particular one says focused intention. And what have we been all talking about? Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. She is a warrior. And she has a bow and arrow. And I think this is really quite hilarious because I know we're in Sagittarius season, but the eclipse is in Taurus, is it? I don't know. I have to ask my astrology friends. But either way, bow and arrow. So this goes to leadership because as a leader, 100,000%, this is literally like, this is the mantra of every leader. Keeping your unwavering, that means fucking alignment, staying in alignment, unwavering with your thoughts. Don't let that inner critic interfere. Unwavering with your feelings. What is it? What is it that you want to be able to create? And who are you stepping into? And what does that feel like? You guys hear me talk about all the time. Mindset, wonderful. Feelings are your fucking fuel. So unwavering in your thoughts, your mindset, unwavering in your feelings, your emotional alignment, unwavering thus then in your actions, the doingness, courage, conviction, in order to create those things, in order to step by step put into action what it is that you are visualizing, what it is that you say that you want, what it is that you believe in, that you stand for. Who is it that you're becoming? What level of leader are you stepping into? What new version of you are you reinventing? The past, those are wonderful lessons. But there's somebody in the future that's really, really, really excited to not just meet you, but be fully embodied by you because it already is you. And it's actually not in the future. It's actually coming from the highest version of you to then be opened, purge out what needs to be removed so that then it can be braided and embodied within. So Unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target. What's your target? What's your vision? What, like, get it clear. Clarity, courage, conviction. Get it fucking clear on your target, and you will make your mark. Mantra of any leader could not be more appropriate. So, yes, the goddess Diana might be waging war, but then what war within do you need to wage for the past version of you? Is there potentially a death of that old version of you so that then you may step in and lead at the level, like, who is she? Lead like her. Look up and see who she is and then lead like her. That's not a leading like some other girl that is not you. That's lead like her. Who is she? And allow her to come in. Lead like her. Yes. Okay. I'll do one for this because I didn't. Diving for light. You can't. Synchronicity on that one. Diving for light. Go within to find the light. I feel like that is pretty just self-explanatory. Doesn't need much more other than that. Just let go of my love that wasn't matching me. Oh, girl, do we need to have this conversation? And 2 projects. Okay. Always ahead of the game. Eclipse energy is in action. Yeah, it is. Get ready for change, but in the best way. Change is not a bad thing, right? If you're in the fear of change, that's the illusion. There's a massive illusion that happens and is happening right now with the eclipse. So if you're going to fall for the illusion, then you're not focused. Stay unwavering, 100%. Point, draw back, and shoot. And sometimes with a bow and arrow, like, you have to pull yourself back. It's not always a forward motion all the time. Sometimes you have to pull yourself back and then re-aim and then let the arrow fly. There is some, and I'm right there with it. Like, that was literally the analogy last night. Because there's a part of me that I am like pulling back and then realigning. And so just fully transparent, like a lot more things might change here. And I'm rebranding stuff and I'm setting new goals and new intentions to then expand so then I can help more people on a massive, massive level, because that's what my heart is driving me towards. And I don't always know exactly what that's going to look like. So I'm setting that, and I love all of you that have continued this journey with me as I've been evolving, and I'm shifting again, and I don't know what that's going to look like. So I love all of you for continuing to just support me as much as hopefully I've supported you in your journey over the years. I still love when you all send me messages that you're taking notes from every soul circle. That means so much, not to me, but to my highest version. Because you got mad skills, woman. Thanks, baby. And I'm so excited for what we're bringing out for you. And we'll do a face tutorial for everybody or something like that. Eclipse day is after your birthday. Yes, girl. I remember 4 or 5 years, something like that. I don't remember when the eclipse was in Libra. It was a couple years ago. Looks like Sparkle Barbie Bats. That's awesome. We shall see. So I guess I'm sharing that some things might start looking differently. So I love all of you that continue to support me. Like I said, as much as hopefully I've supported you throughout the years. And things are changing, and that's for the better, always. So bigger and better and expanding and next level of leadership. So we'll see what happens after the eclipse, because lots of fun stuff. And I'm excited and I'm a little scared. Because if you're not a little bit scared, then it's not big enough. So if you're a little bit scared of change, then fucking badass. Just lead like her. Who is she? Or him, for all the amazing gentlemen. Or maybe it's the highest version of your feminine. Could be that too. She's a badass. Oh, I love you guys. I love this amazing tribe. All right. Typical, usual. Have an amazing, lovely evening. I am Sarah Delane. Should you want support in stepping into that, you guys all know where to find me. You want to lead like her, then DM me, and either me or my team will be happy to get back to you and how you can reinvent yourself and support that. I love you all so much. I will see you. Mwah! Bye. Bye, YouTube.